It's not like he's saving the world or anything. Oh, yes, it is. As Special Agent Harry Tasker, it's up to you to prevent a nuclear holocaust and stop the Crimson Jihad. Experience all the explosive intensity of True Lies, including never-before-seen secret missions, all of the action of the movie mega hit, and none of the romance. It's True Lies, a top-down shooter developed by Beam Software, which is not great, and published by LJN, which, regardless of what you're thinking, is not terrible. LJN did fine. Much better than people like Ocean. We've talked about that before. It's based on the 1994 film of the same title, developed by Beam and published by Acclaim originally. 4 different versions of the game were released for the Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, Game Gear, and Game Boy. The home versions and portable versions were drastically different, but featured similar play mechanics. We take control of Harry Tasker. That's a great name. Who is tasked with the duty of foiling the terrorist plot of Salim Abu Aziz. Each stage has a particular series of goals that the player must fulfill before reaching the goal. Harry's abilities include the ability to keep his aim steady in one direction while shooting, and a diving shoulder roll that allows him to avoid enemy fire that I found much too late in recording this episode. We have a health gauge and a limited amount of lives with power-ups available that restore health. In addition to enemies, there's also civilians that we must not harm during shootouts. If we kill 3 in the same stage, we have to restart at the cost of a life. Harry starts each stage wielding only a single-shot pistol that has unlimited ammo but has to be reloaded, and you can procure 3 additional firearms, an Uzi, a shotgun, and a flamethrower, which takes the pistol spot upon being equipped, as well as grenades and anti-personnel fragmentation mines, which you can switch between at any point. Unlike the pistol, the other weapons have limited ammo with a different maximum capacity, and you have to find the ammo. There are a total of 9 stages, and the game features a few stills from the movie at the beginning of each level and 1 at the end. The Super Nintendo version was given 2 out of 5 stars by Next Generation and stated that 10 entire levels of this get plain monotonous. Famicom Tsushin gave the SNES and Genesis versions 22 out of 40. EGM gave it a 7 out of 10, saying the game's controls and graphics are solid and that the somewhat mindless and repetitive gameplay is relieved by the inclusion of secret areas and a variety of weapons. GamePro said the graphics and music are mediocre, but that the action gets frantic but never unbearable, and the game serves as an enjoyable throwback to overhead action games like Zombies, Ate My Neighbors, and Soldiers of Fortune. The review of the Genesis version stated that it stated it to be identical to the Super NES version. A reviewer for Next Gen was pleased with the Genesis version, saying that it's fun to play and is true to the film, and gave it 3 out of 5, concluding it to be not incredibly original or pretty, just surprisingly fun. GamePro said the Game Gear version isn't so much an entertainment vehicle as it is a torture device, citing severe slowdown, which brings the game almost to a halt whenever more than 2 characters are on screen, extraneous and confusing background details, irritating and repetitive sound effects, and poor controls. That sums up every game on the Game Gear ever. I couldn't tell you when I saw this movie last, but I think the game is actually kind of fun. It's nice to see some more of these top-down shooter kind of games that aren't just like Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which I didn't care for. No, I didn't particularly care for this. I thought the gameplay was fine. Basically, if I had to give my review, it would be a conglomeration of all the other reviews. The graphics are good, but they're not great. The music is good, but not great. The action is good, but not great. But I could see that it could get to the point where it gets kind of intense and fun. You know what I mean? So, there you go. True Lies. Was this trues or was it lies? Who knows?